Okay, do you have your ROC with you?
Yes.
Ada? Okay, good. Okay, we start off with offer. These are the important cases from the faculty for this subject that you should know. Okay, we start off with offer to settle. So because this is 4th and 5th week punya exercise, we are going to do first one is offer to settle. Nanti we are going to move on to mode of trial, and then the third one is on apa tu? The third one is on order 34 rule 1 and rule 2 pre-trial case management rule 1 dengan 2. Okay, and next week kita akan proceed with pre-trial case management, other rules in order 34, plus we are going to do interrogatories and discoveries. Okay, alright. Okay, offer to settle. Korang kalau tak tu kau jerit tau, sebab I buka slide ni aku bukannya nampak kau punya angkat tangan ke apa. Nampak tak?
Nampak, Doktor.
Okay, offer to settle ni is stated in order 22B. Ada siapa recording tak untuk ni? Ke dah start recording tadi? Cuba recording ni kan ada yang tertinggal ke kan I malas nak ulang? Ke tak boleh recording?
Dah.
Habis kau recording daripada aku merapu tadi?
Tak, baru je.
Okay. Offer to settle, basically it allows any party to the proceeding to make payment to the court for the purpose of settlement. This is order 22B of the Malaysian Rules of Court 2012, which is equal to order 22A of the Singapore Rules of Court. Okay, Singapore Rules of Court, they also have their own. Singapore, they have also their own rules of for the High Court. Okay, there's this case as that mention about this offer to settle order 22. So basically, according to this case, okay, the case of Singapore Airlines. Okay, in this case, the court held that, okay, the justice named Chow Hik Tin held that order 22A, okay, which is in pari material with order 22B of the Malaysian Rules of Court 2012, is to spur the parties to bring litigation to an expeditious and without judgment, and thus save costs and the judicial time. So it seeks to promote responsible conduct on part of both parties. It discourage obstinacy given to the court in all pertinent facts and circumstances to be taken into account, and then to arrive at an order on course which is fair and just. Okay, so basically that's the basic idea why they have this offer to settle. It's a new provision inserted into the Rules of Court 2012. Okay, and then what is important, you might think that civil procedure is about procedure. Yeah, I understand that you don't actually go to the court and do all these things, but you need to understand the flow, okay, of this procedure. Okay, so by rules order 22B rule 1, if you want to make an offer to settle the case, you may serve form 34 to the other party. Okay, there's another Singapore case which I don't put it here. Actually, it's more towards Singapore case, and the one is more towards professional exam lah, CLP exam. So basically, in this case, Ong Chai Hong and Chiang Shirley and others, it was held that the letter of offer did not comply with the method or the prescribed rule under order 22A of Singapore, thus the defendant litigant was not aware of the cost consequences that he would receive. So in Malaysia, there is no reported case on this point. No case law order 22B rule 1 will apply verbatim where a party will have to serve in form 34. You want to have an offer to settle to the other party, you serve it in form 34, and there is no requirement for the form 34 to be filed. It is to be served to the other party, and the court should not be put in the position where it is aware that the party would want to settle the case. Okay, so it's like more or less like what is it? It's not compulsory. Okay, and then when you look at order 22B, okay, what is when a party accept the offer under when form 34 is served, the receiving party is to serve back form 36. You serve back with form 36 saying that you want to accept the offer from the other party. Okay, is it stated in our rule order 22B? Can you see in any of sub-rule in 22B? Ada tak?
Yes.
Form dia.
Rule 6 clause 1.
Rule 6 clause 1. Okay, you want to reply it? You want to accept it? Form 36. Okay, good. The manner of acceptance. Okay, so that's procedural. So procedural macam bosan kan? Don't bosan yourself because maybe it's quite a big area in civil procedure in terms of practice lah. Okay, and then when an offer to settle should be served, okay, an offer to settle can be served at any time of the proceeding provided that the court has not delivered judgment or order. Kalau court dah deliver judgment or order, case sudah selesai lah. Tapi offer to settle ni means that the offer can be made at the beginning ke, middle ke or the end of the matter. So when you have time to deal with your practitioner, ask them, okay, is it a common practice for the practitioners, for plaintiff, for any the parties in the proceeding to have this kind of offer to settle? Okay, and then there is also a withdrawal of offer to settle. Okay, so this is done in form 35. This is stated in rule 3. Okay, so that is another procedure. And then order 22B rule 4 states about without prejudice. So form 34, it operates without prejudice basis. So the party would not be held to admit his wrongdoing or the claim initiated against him. The case is animation, Theme Park ZJ advisory. Okay, basically in this case, Anselm Charles J held that without prejudice would not be admissible to court as evidence in the parties if the party is seeking a compromise for settlement. So without prejudice ni tak diterima lah sebagai bukti. Okay, without prejudice ni kalau later when you deal with loan ke apa ke kan, you have outstanding amount. Okay, usually you have outstanding amount ataupun you have these litigation cases going on but your obligation still arising to pay kan. And then you go to the ATM machine kan, you bank in the money. Okay, you still do your part, you bank in the money. And then bila dia keluarkan receipt tu dia akan tulis, even masa you tekan nak masuk dalam CDM machine tu, you make the payment, the ATM machine already mentioned whatever payment yang you make ni is without prejudice. Okay, to whatever rights, the original rights in your agreement. Okay, that's among the practice lah about with this without prejudice. Okay, maksudnya none of the parties agree, belum settle lagi to anything. Okay, they are not, the plaintiff mungkin tak, apa orang kata, tak dispose of dia punya rights lagi, dia belum agree to settle, or even defendant pun belum agree to admit or not admit dia punya liability. Okay, and then another case of Malayan Banking ni, Chang Min Tat FJ, a letter held without prejudice ni is admissible in the evidence of negotiation. Okay, so this is a solution that is acceptable to both sides can be more easily reached. So it is also a settled law where the negotiation conducted without prejudice lead to a settlement, then the letters become admissible in terms of the, unless the agreement has not been incorporated into another document. Okay, so basically this is the law on without prejudice order 22B rule 4. And then we move on to order 22B rule 5. While you are listening to my lecture, if you have any questions, you can ask questions, okay? You can interrupt me. Boleh? Ya, I cakap sorang-sorang je. Korang dah ke laut dalam kan? Laut ketujuh ke langit ketujuh ke? Tak tahu. Okay, order 22B. Rule 5 ni on the non-disclosure of the offer. Okay, the offer shall not be made to the court, so the court can stay impartial and not be influenced in deciding the cost and term of judgment. This is stated in the case of Calderban, where it was held that the court must not be informed that an offer to settle has been made until the matter comes to end and the court would make its end judgment. So basically, kenapa they introduce this offer to settle? Why do you think? Rasa kenapa? Any idea? Tak perlu tunjuk kat court, tapi still introduce this offer to settle. Rasa-rasa kenapa?
To reduce the expenses and to save time maybe.
Okay, to reduce expenses, save time. Sebab you tahulah, you know what the cost that will involve. Satu, bila case ni berlarut-larut, the lawyers will charge fees. Satu, kadang-kadang by daily basis, dia punya tu legal fees, dia punya professional fees, and then the court also incur cost. Kita file-filekan semua tu kan ada masuk cost. Lepas tu at the end of the hearing pun ada lagi cost tau. That will be awarded by the court. Okay, again pada parti yang menang. Okay, so if you have this offer to settle, that will make things easier lah. Okay, and then person under disability, rule 6. Have I mentioned rule 6? Rule 6 tadi you cakap tadi kan? Apa rule 6 tadi apa, Syami?
About the acceptance of the offer, form 36.
Yes. Okay, that is form 36, rule 6. Rule 7 ni about party under disability. Okay, person under disability may make, withdraw or accept the offer, but he must obtain the court approval under order 76, and he has to be appointed by a legal representative stated by order 76. You can look it in your order 22B. Okay, and then or failure to comply with an accepted offer to settle. Okay, when a party fails to comply on the of any the settlement terms, the party may apply to the court for a judgment to enter against non-compliant party, and then to continue as if they had not accepted offer to settle. So that's how they are going to proceed. Okay, the case is Dennis, Matthew, Halte and Dr. Tan Hoon Ho. Okay, a party, they can offer a non-monetary incentive as well. For instance, property, car, jewellery, to name but a few, but the terms of the offer must be as stated in the case of this. Okay, the terms of the offer to settle must be stated. Okay, and then course of proceedings when the party did not accept the offer to settle. This is in Rule 9. The case is Dr. Gumal Kaur Sidhu Singh. In this case, Yaakob M. Mat Samji held that Order 22B Rule 9 allows the defendant from the date of the offer to settle if the plaintiff did not accept the offer. In this case, the plaintiff did not accept the offer to settle. So the court held that he is only allowed to get 60,000 out of the 150,000, but he prayed for in view of the defendant's entitlement for cost from the date under Order 22B or Rule 9. Okay, so basically cost of proceedings, okay, it's one of cost of proceedings is a different issue from the offer to settle, because offer to settle dia limited pada amount berapa banyak diklaim pada statement of claim dia. Cost of proceeding tu lain dia, cost of the proceeding bila dah habislah the court will award the cost. Alright. So next rule, actually there are a number of cost of proceedings, but okay, but I don't write it down. I'm going to mention another case of Wong Ki Yi and Datuk Chin Chi Ki. In this case, the court held that Order 22B has to be read together with Order 59. Order 59 states that the court has full discretion how much quantum to award to each party. Maksudnya even though they have agreed to settle, okay, but for the cost of proceeding too, when the party did not accept the offer to settle, okay, this is going to be determined by the court. Alright. And then Rule 10 on jointly and severally liable. Okay, the plaintiff may offer two or more defendants to settle with any defendant. Conversely, the defendant also may offer to settle with the plaintiff. However, if the defendants are both jointly liable and should contribute for the payment, Order 22 Rule 9B would not apply unless the plaintiff make an offer to settle all liabilities incurred by all the defendants, or all of them agree to offer the plaintiff a settlement sum that would settle all their liabilities. This is another requirement. And Rule 11 on offer to contribute. Okay. So basically, if there are two defendants, okay, maybe defendant A would offer to contribute the settlement sum to the plaintiff in order to settle his claim. So the court would take into account whether defendant A, the party that has no money, would have to pay the cost of the defendant who had made the offer to indemnify B for any cost he is liable to the plaintiff. This is quite clear. Okay, when there are two or more defendants. And for counterclaim, okay, so counterclaim is under claim for ni offer to settle rule berapa dalam ni? Rule 12. So basically Rule 1 to 11 shall apply with the necessary modification to counterclaims and third party claim. Kalau dia defendant ada counterclaim and other third party application, so Rule 1 up to Rule 11 dalam Order 22B masih terpakai. Alright. Okay, this is quite straightforward. Cuma macam bila cakap tu kau dah tengah macam bela-bela apalah Mary cakap ni. Betul lah. Sebab dah macam gini kan. So kau balik memang kena buka buku baca balik lah and fahamkan apa I cakap. Tapi I tengok kalau you baca rule, if you read the rule it's dia lagi ni lah straightforward. Kalau you baca textbook tu dia ada banyak elaboration lah. Okay, it's from the rule itself. Dan case dia pun tak banyak lah, ada sikit lah for offer to settle. Order 22B. We move on to mode of trial. Okay, mode of trial ni pun straightforward. Order 33, sorry. So bila dia nak start the trial, okay, dia ada tak banyak tau. Dia ada rule 1 to rule 5. This is also you can read it, and ada few cases that ada satu je case yang I letak sini. So basically mode of trial ni macam mana trial tu akan berjalan, okay, it will be determined by the court. Rule 1, okay, mode of trial. So basically it may be tried before a judge or a registrar, okay, with or without assessor. Kadang-kadang ada kes yang ada assessor. Okay, depan hakim ke registrar ni apa orang panggil pendaftar kanan ke, it can be with or without assessors. That is to be decided by the court. Okay, time of trial or questions of issues, this is stated in order 33 rule 2. Cuba tengok kejap apa maksud dia. Order 33 tu, rule 2 dia kata, Syamil cuba baca sikit order 33 rule 2 tu. Hilang suara sekejap.
33.
Rule 2.
Mencari 33 rule 2. It's about time of trial of questions or issues, which the court may order any question or issue arising in a cause or matter, whether of fact or law, or partly of fact and partly of law, and whether raised by the pleadings or otherwise, to be tried before, at or after the trial of the cause or matter, and may give directions as to the manner in which the questions or issue shall be stated.
Okay, so basically kalau ada issues of questions yang arise in a cause or matter, contohnya dia nak tanya preliminary issues lah, isu local standby ke atau isu legality dia nak bawa ke court tu ke apa ke kan, ke court lain ke, okay, whether raised by the pleadings or otherwise, okay, the court may give direction macam mana before ke after the trial of the cause of the matter. So basically it is quite common practice for the court to do that. Kadang-kadang dia nak bila dia belum pergi ke full trial tu, kadang-kadang awal-awal lagi dia nak try issues of local standby. Contohnya ingat tak kes Lim Kit Sian, dia bawa kes against apa tu, UEM pasal tol kan. So before dia go proceed further, then want to determine first, okay, Lim Kit Siang ni dia ada local standby ke in the first place to bring the case against UEM. So they will try it first. Okay, dia kata dia will make decision. Kita nak try issue ni first before kita nak dengar apa-apa yang Lim Kit Siang nak cakap, nak arguekan against UEM. Okay, so the court will try that. And then ada case tu I letak Thailam and the Eastern Shipping Corporation. Sekejap Thailam. So basically case ni Thailam ni ni order 33 kan. Ni yang preliminary issues. Ingat tak dulu kita belajar preliminary issues apa dia? Apakah isu-isu dia? Contohnya local standby. Lagi? Apa dia? Even
Jurisdiction.
perkataan. Maybe jurisdiction. Lagi?
Time period.
Time period. Good. Lagi? Ada satu. Contohnya ni. Apalah. Res judicata ke ataupun ni. I nak cakap satu ni. I dah terlupa pula. Tadi dah dengar Alia jawab. I dah terlupa. Sekejap Isu course of action sendiri. Contohnya kan. Cukup course of action tak? Tengok punya belum give rise to any course of action pun. So dia nak dispose of that issue first. So it's up to the court to dispose it first. Okay, case Tai Lam ni, case dia, BJ dismiss the case on preliminary point. Dia cakap pasal limitation sebab limitation has set in. Okay, so the court under order 32 rule 5 ni can dispose of the matter if it appears unnecessary for it to be tried. Okay, and then determining mode of trial, order 33 rule 3. So basically kita tengok order 33 rule 3 ni, what does it say? It says that determining mode of trial, action begin by writ, okay, an order made at pre-trial case management shall determine the mode of trial. Masa pre-trial case management ni, pre-PTCM, the court will determine apa mode of trial, pakai assessor ke, dengan judge ke, dengan registrar ke, with or without assessors. And then any such order may be varied by a subsequent order made at or before the trial, and then the different question or issues may be ordered to be tried by different modes of trial. Okay, or more questions to be ordered to be tried before the others. Okay, kadang-kadang ada some issues they want it to be tried with other courts ke. Okay, that is for the court to decide it, the mode of trial. Okay, at the pre-trial case management. Okay, and then trial with assistance of assessors. Ada yang pakai assessors. This is stated under order 33 rule 4. Basically assessors ni with their skills and experience, they will give 14 days notification to the parties. So objection must come within 7 days. And then you can read it, it's quite lengthy. Okay, so basically that's what they want to say. Kalau misalnya kalau the court wants to assessor, lepas tu payment ni, payment assessor ni, okay, payment of the assessor, remuneration paid to the assessor shall be determined by the court and shall form part of the cost of the proceedings. Okay, and court may order deposit into the court a specified sum in respect of the assessor's fees. Contohnya they want to discuss about, contohnya lah insurance cases. Kadang-kadang is quite complicated, they need an expert assessor to deal with that. Okay, and then the assessor, lepas tu lain lah kalau misalnya assessor tu remuneration of the assessor is to be paid of monies provided by the parliament. So that will be a different story. Okay, and then order 33 rule 5 ni, dismissal of action after decision of preliminary issues that I mentioned in the case of Tai Lam just now. The court when they are discussing about preliminary issues and dia dah kata limitations sets in. Okay, so basically the court has the power that contohnya they want to arrive the decision of any question ke issues in the course of matter, they nak try separately from the main trial, ataupun dia nak dispose of the case sebab dia kata the trial or the cause is unnecessary, they may dismiss the cause or matter to make such an order or make such a judgment that may be just. Okay, so basically ni maksudnya you punya rules rules of court ni you kena hadam lah, you kena tengok. Alamak dia bergerak. So basically kan, bila you practice, selain you membuka tu dalam mahkamah, sebab tu I suka kalau masa kelas tu you tengok sekali. Sebab masa kita tengah berjalan proceeding tu, kadang-kadang hakim tu tanya tau. Dia tanya kita, okay apa you nak ni, saya nak ni. Dia kata okay, ada ke kuasa hakim nak bagi apa yang you minta ni? Cakap ada Tuan Hakim, Ya Arif. Ni dekat rule berapa? Dia tanya kita rule berapa. So kita kena tengok lah. Kita kena prepare. Kadang-kadang benda tu tak ada dekat dalam bundle, kita tak prepare. Kadang just ad hoc punya questions. So kita kena prepare, kita kena tahu kita punya rule tu kat mana. Contohnya kalau mini hearing tu kan nanti kan, injunction kan, maksudnya order 29 Order 29 tu you kena tengok. Dan dia tanya, you ni ikut procedure tak? Kalau betul ikut procedure ni, rule mana you pakai? So you must get ready. Boleh? Dia tunjuk dekat hakim tu. Kadang-kadang dia tak tahu, kadang-kadang dia tahu tapi tak sure, kadang-kadang saja dia nak test you. Okay? So you kena ready with all the rules yang relate to your application lah kan. Okay? And then this pre-trial case management ni panjang sikit. Okay, kita akan sentuh 2 rules je hari ni. Tapi saya tak habis lagi tulis slide sebab dia panjang berjela. So basically pre-management ni before the full trial ni dia ada pre-trial case management. Order, dia nak ask for order and direction for just, expeditious and economical disposal of proceedings. Okay, kita tengok rule 1 first. Wah, panjang ni. Okay, so basically before full trial, okay, the court may any time after the commencement of the proceeding direct the parties to appear before the court, make such order. Okay, so all matters yang with on interlocutory proceedings, okay, dia akan dengar interlocutory application and have not been dealt with. And as far as been dealt with, kalau you all ada buat interlocutory application, dia akan dealt first, and then the direction of the future course of the action to secure the just, expeditious and economical disposal thereof. Okay, so basically the court, in order to make order to give direction under rule 1 tu, order 34(1) tu, the court may take into account whether the party has complied or not with the relevant protocol of practice direction. Ada practice direction tau dekat dalam kita punya ni, dekat court ni. Tak tahulah ada dekat dalam you all punya practice direction tu. Dalam ni macam tak ada ke, boleh tengok online. Okay, mana nak dapat practice direction tu, you search lah, try search online that you need to comply lah. Tu masa you practice lah. Okay, so but as your knowledge tu you kena comply lah. If they fail to comply with any order or direction, the court may dismiss the action. Order 34 rule 1, sub rule berapa tu? Anybody?
Sub rule 2.
Ya ke?
Yang pasal direction
Pre-trial ni.
Kalau dismiss the action. Rule 3.
Okay, sub rule 3. Strike out the defense or counterclaim or makes any other order. Kau tu yang dia boleh buat, sebab tu it's important for you to follow the procedure, protocol and practice direction. Kalau tak, you punya application can be dismissed, strike out strike out your defense or counterclaim. Okay, we can make order as it thinks fit. Okay. So kalau misalnya any judgment, order or direction given who does not appear before the court, bila disuruh when directed to do so, it may be set aside or varied by the court. Okay, you might think that apalah macam ini ada lawyer yang tak datang, tapi in real case ada tak lawyer tak datang. Masa kita dah susah-susah kan apply application, rupanya ada parties tu tak datang. So kalau tak datang tu, it will be a disadvantage lah to us, especially kalau misalnya tu dia boleh enter judgment ni default. Okay, so make sure you have a good diary and a good secretary lah. And sekarang ni kan pakai handphone je kan, masuk je lah semua kan dekat dalam handphone tu. Okay, because when you work later, you are not going to handle just one case. You have banyak file. File-file tu akan banyak, so you cannot go wrong. Okay, and then pre-trial case management order 34 rule 2 ni. When directed by court, rule 2 ni panjang sikit ni. Panjang ceritanya dalam tu ni.
Banyak.
Banyak. So apa yang dia nak cerita dalam tu? Okay, untuk expeditious and economical disposal of the action, okay, they can order satu mediation. Mungkin dia yang kata mediation according to rules ni. Ni mediation dia. Tahu tak mediation tu apa? The court may order mediation. Dia macam out of court punya settlement lah. Bukan out of court sangat sebab dia still like ni mediation.
ADR.
Dia salah satu ADR tapi managed by the court. Ni salah satu sistem lah. Okay, but managed by the court, you kena go through this mediation. Ni baru juga ni, mediation sub rule A. Kalau in Singapore, they do this mediation, dia settle case cepat lah compared to the normal court proceeding. So they need to go through mediation. The court can order the parties to go through mediation. Yang kedua, dia kena buat bundle of pleadings. Okay, nampak ni dia punya ni. Dia nampak macam tedious kan, tapi ni masa korang buat kojos litigation tu lah yang kena buat. Dia kena ada one copy of the document bound up in a proper chronological order, endorsed, name, address, phone numbers of the solicitor. Okay, if he has no solicitor, the party himself. So dia kena ada read dalam tu pleadings. Ni kita panggil bundle of pleadings. Termasuk affidavit or any notice of order for particulars. Okay, the period ni to file a bundle of documents will be relied. Ni lagi satu bundle of documents pula. Lain tau bundle of pleading dengan bundle of documents. Even later when you want to prepare the bundle of pleadings ke bundle of documents kan, it is going to be so neat. Kena apa orang kata? Sekejap apa orang kata beradu kan?
Organize.
Organize. Korang pernah tak buat bundle of pleading, bundle of document sebelum ni? Ada tak?
Bundle of authorities je pernah. Sama doktor?
Lain. Bundle of authorities tu bila kau nak argue. Lain. Bundle of authorities tu kau pergi bundlekan semua authority yang kau nak guna. Lain. So kau buat apa? Bundle of authorities je kan?
Setakat ni tak tahu kalau yang lain.
Bundle of authorities untuk kes apa?
Tu dalam ni apa tu competition, contohnya macam ada Some of Us yang masuk mood syariah tu.
I see. Oh, itulah korang buat bundle of authorities tu. Okay, ada jugalah bila nak pergi full trial tu adalah. Tapi bundle of ni apa? Bundle of authorities ni bundle of authorities tu you boleh bukan buat sesuka hati tau. Macam anybody can recall experience buat bundle of authorities pun? Asal muka I terkeluar? Nampak muka I keluar kan? Bundle of authorities tu kau buat macam mana? Masa praktis nanti you nak buat bundle of authorities tu, you sekarang dah senang tau. You can download it over the internet and dia print out cantik kan? Tapi dulu kan, itu tak masa I practice dulu, kita orang kena fotokopi dekat dalam ni. Dekat buku dia tu, buku case report tu sendiri, tahu tak? Case
manual
manual. Case report tu dia suruh budak chambering buat. Actually we can give it to the photocopier kan, tapi dia ask us to go through ni. So basically even dia nak suruh kita prepare the bundle of authority tu, bila photo step pun dia tak boleh ada hitam kiri, kanan, depan, belakang, tak boleh. Dia mesti clear, cantik. Tahu tak? I tak tahulah, I rasa semua sekarang dah tak macam tu kot. So maksudnya dia punya ni sangat strict lah. Okay, because you are going to have it for your own, for the judge and for the other party. Tu bundle of authorities. Kalau bundle of pleadings ni kau punya writ of summons semua tu nak ready for trial tu kena buat lah. Sebab ni it's a civil punya proceeding kan, civil litigation. You kena prepare all those documents. Satu bundle of, I cakap tadi, rule berapa tadi? Rule pre-trial case management, they ask you to prepare your bundle of pleading. Lagi satu bundle of, apa yang kedua tadi Syamil sebut?
Bundle of documents.
Bundle of documents. Okay, bundle of documents ni dia ada catat dekat dalam ni. Dekat dalam rule tu. Okay, bundle of documents tu, as a matter of practice, dia pun ada tulis dalam tu. Dia mark, ada part A, part B, part C. Okay, dulu benda ni tak ada dalam rules tau. Sekarang dia senang, dia dah ada ni. Dulu macam secara praktis je, macam orang buat je. They know already when they want to go to ni, they want to go to trial, they will prepare all that. Satu, kalau part A ni kena ingat lah as a matter of practice ni. Ni bundle of agreed documents, so dia mark as part A. Okay, so you kena buat elok-elok lah kalau buat bundle tu. You biasanya pakai ring binding lah. Kau tak tahu lah sekarang orang dah canggih ke? Cuba saya tanya, practitioner sekarang tak pakai combining lagi ke? Pakai jadi macam buku teks ke apa? Buku teks tu yang macam perfect binding ke apa? Dulu-dulu kita orang pakai combining. So dia markkan all this bundle of pleadings, bundle of documents. Bundle of documents tu dokumen yang kita gunakan untuk support our pleadings kan. Agreement semua tu kita photostat tau. Kita photostat atau and then certified true copy ke atau original ke apa ke kan. Kita buat, put that in our bundle of documents. Yang agreed documents tu kita mark as part A. Okay, part A agreed document where both parties agreed as far and possible, that those are the agreed document. Contohnya kan, surat beranak, IC. Kau nak gaduh apa? Surat beranak, IC kan accept je lah. Ni semua hal pun kau nak gaduhkan kan. This is civil proceeding, bukannya kriminal. Okay, tu satu. Part B pula tengok dia is stated in rule Order 34 Rule 2. If parties are unable to agree on certain documents, so those documents cannot be reached and it shall be included in a separate bundle, and then these are marked as follows. Kalau they cannot agree, they mark as follows. Part B tu, documents where the authenticity is not disputed but the contents are disputed. Dia punya keaslian dia tidak diragui tapi dia punya content dia diragui. Contohnya apa? Anybody has any idea? Atikah ke? Ashraf ke? Contohnya ni lah. Police report lah. Okay, police report authenticity is not disputed ialah. Siapa je kan yang nak buat police report palsu, tapi basically police report ni kita boleh cakap je apa-apa. Ingat tak? Halo?
Betul tu madam, saya setuju.
Kan police report ni kita cakap apa-apa. Kita boleh cakap Wafi, kita boleh claim apa. Wafi ni apa-apa je lah kan. You nak mengapu dekat polis tu. Authenticity, keaslian dia kita tak petikai. Tapi apa yang dia cakap tu mungkin itu menjadi isu pertikaian sama ada dia betul atau tidak. That is part B. Itu contoh. Ada banyaklah dokumen lain. Yang C ni authenticity diragui, content pun diragui. Contohnya apa?
Hearsay ke madam?
Hearsay ke? Hearsay boleh ke bentuk dokumen? Ada ke hearsay dalam bentuk? Jadi kita cakap dokumen.
Oh maaf, saya ralat.
Banyaknya orang. Syauki, ada isu, ada idea. So dia bundle ni kita photostat, kita readykan dalam bentuk dokumen. Hearsay tu cakap-cakap tu dalam bentuk kriminal lah kot. Contohnya apa? Siapa any idea tak? Contohnya apa?
Madam, dokumen tu kita tak pernah tengok pun. Tiba-tiba baru ada dokumen tu. Baru wujud.
Okey, betul. Contohnya kan, ni kes, apa orang Melayu panggil lah? Contohnya penipuan insurans ke? Gitu-gitulah kan, penipuan insurans kan. Dia kata that's where it becomes tu artikel tu mungkin satu contoh lah. Dia tak pernah nampak dokumen tu, tiba-tiba ada. Tu boleh jadi paksi lah. Contohnya insurans kan. Dia katalah plaintiff tu kata orang ni bukan dia yang sign dokumen insurans dia. So kalau bukan dia yang genuine sign, they are not liable to pay the defendant. Contohnya sebab ada kes tau. Ada kes-kes macam tu. Dia tak sign, lepas tu tak. So ni antara cara-cara insurans lah dia nak elak liability. Kadang-kadang ada memang defendant tu tak sign. Ada kes dia macam entah suruh dia punya PA ke apa sign. So kalau dia tak betul-betul sign, so dia larilah liability. Ataupun kes ni. Ada kes ni, I nak ingat. Kes accident. Accident tu kan boleh make police report kan. Lepas tu ada medical report. You tahu tak, report-report ni penting nanti when you do your ni court papers semua tu. Bundle of document, bundle of pleading semua penting. Sebab apa? Katalah dia claim accident kan. Dia claim accident tarikh sekian-sekian. Sekali lepas tu ada jumpa dokumen mengatakan masa tu dia bukan accident pun dengan orang tu. Rupanya masa tu dia ada dekat hospital dan ada awarded di hospital. Kalau dia ada kat hospital, macam ni at the same time pula dia dikatakan accident. You faham tak? Ni kes orang menipu nak dapat claim insurans. Dia kata dia kena accident sebab basically you can lah. Actually walaupun by law accident kena report 24 jam ke apa kan. Tapi when it comes to practice personal injury, people can just say and do a lot of things. Contohnya adik dia yang drive, tapi adik dia underage, kereta tu register atas nama kakak dia. So siapa? Kalau adik dia yang pergi dekat balai polis buat report, gone lah. Dia tak dapat apa-apa. Okay, so kakak dia buat report. Lepas tu kantor pula dia sebenarnya tu. Those kind of things lah that happen in the practice. So ni, sebab tu lah ada dokumen-dokumen ni. They can be part A, part B or part C. Okay, and then apa lagi? Dia document, they shall be arranged chronologically and shall be paginated. Okay, avoid the application. Okay, and then kena ikut practice direction. Okay. Kena ikut apa direction from the court. Court will give direction. Okay, bundle of pleadings by this day and this date must be ready. For plaintiff bila, for defendant bila. Or bundle of document bila kena get ready by this. Sebelum pergi full trial. And then the filing of a statement of agreed facts. Okay, there is filing of statement of agreed facts. Lepas tu issues to be tried. Okay, and then period they have to exchange their file and their list of witnesses before they go for trial. Okay, and then siapa yang exchange dan file witness statement, I rasa nanti kita akan buat jugalah witness statement. Kita akan buat mini hearing lah kot untuk witness statement sebab kita ada banyak practitioner. Is going to be interesting. Tu bila kita cakap pasal evidence nanti. Kalau dalam practice punya tu lah. Contohnya kan. Bagi contoh, kita punya sini ada buat last year modul ni. Contohnya case accident lah. Tu satu. Bila kita buat witness statement tu, kita tanya soalan tu, soalan yang betul. Tak boleh tanya leading question. I think yang antara skill-skill ni ada sikit lah yang criminal procedure punya tu skill. Contohnya accident. You nak kata yang defendant tu tak salah. You nak kata plaintiff tu yang langgar dia. Plaintiff nak kata defendant tu langgar. Contohnya kereta tu case accident kereta tu tegak, you nak kata defendant yang pergi datang kat depan tu and then langgar. Padahal maybe yang terjadi sebenarnya ialah defendant tu jalan tu plaintiff dia out of control, dia langgar. Version mana? You nak buktikan tu witness statement tu penting lah. Okay, later when we do on parts of evidence. It's quite interesting tau. I hope we can have this interesting punya ni. Sebab kadang-kadang macam-macam soalan. Kadang-kadang tanya tak relevan, bangun pukul berapa? Apa relevan nak tanya witness tu pukul berapa? Tanya soalan yang relevant to support your argument lah. Okay, and then apa lagi? Witness shall be limited. Okay, and then there will be examination in evidence in chief, examination in chief. Okay, and then expert witnesses. Kalau you have expert witnesses, kalau case personal accident kan, you nak panggil doktor, nak panggil pakar forensik ke contohnya kan. These are the things that will be decided by court, berapa orang nak panggil. Okay, lepas tu evidence in chief tu berapa banyak witness statement. Okay, lagi apa lagi? The issues apa yang nak prepare, agreed issues not agree and summary of the reasons. Okay, estimate or length of trial. So court may give direction, okay, on these issues before they go for full trial. Dia akan dia akan perkemaskan isu lah before they go to main trial. Nanti bila you dah start practice nanti, you have all this thing in mind lah. Okay, you kena prepare lah all those dan kena discuss with the parties lah. Okay, bila dates ni, bila nak you ask direction from the court. So bila dah start trial aja, everything will be in order. In civil litigation, don't forget there is no issue of surprise kan, tak ada surprise, tak ada, because this is a civil litigation, everything is based on paper, apa yang kita dah agree, and the pre-trial case management is important. Okay, and then kalau misalnya they agreeable to settlement, okay, and the court may give order to effect the settlement. Alright, yang lain tu kita will touch next week bila kita buat proceeding at trial and then discoveries and interrogatories. Okay. Alright. So we are done for this week. Any question? Ada soalan tak? Hello, kawan.
Ya, ada. Hello, madam. Tiada soalan.
Apa soalan?
Tiada soalan.
Apa Wan tak dengar?
Apa dia?
Ulang balik. Hello Wan.
No question, madam.
Birthday boy bersuara lah.
Ini birthday Wafi.
Happy birthday Wafi.
Tak dengar apa-apa.
Madam. Tadi madam ada sekat-sekat sedikit. Mungkin talian internet kot kurang.
Okay, kenapa?
Madam hari ni
Apa dia?
Birthday Wafi.
Birthday Wafi ke? Ya Allah, semalam dia baru habis exam. Hari ni dia punya birthday ke?
dia nak celebrate lah.
Lepas tu you nak belanja kita kek ke?
Jangan macam tu.
Madam, kalau madam bagi dia A, boleh dapat kek madam.
Yang tu boleh.
Okey lah, kita nyanyi lah. Semua buka mikrofon, kita nyanyi untuk ni, si Wafi.
Boleh.
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 Nyanyi lagu apa?
Allah
Lagu
selamatkan
apa?
kami.
Okey. Kita nyanyi sekali. Mula kita nyanyi lagu Happy Birthday. Lepas tu kita nyanyi lagu Allah Selamatkan Kamu. Islamic
Boleh.
Lagu Arab jangan kuai.
Itu jarang sulam.
I tak tahu lagu Arab sana handphone je tu. Okey, cepat. 1, 2, 3.
Selamat hari
Jadi.
Selamat
Hari jadi.
Selamat
Hari
Jadi Wafi.
Selamat hari.
Jadi.
Buka kamera.
Wafi, nyanyi untuk dia. Buka lah kamera. Lepas tu lagi satu. Lagu Allah Selamatkan Kamu.
Allah.
Rosman angkat tangan.
Rosman nak nyanyi ke?
Okey. Tiap-tiap.
Okey, nyanyi. Allah
selamatkan kamu. Allah selamatkan kamu. Sambung.
Allah selamatkan Kami Jasmine.
Allah
Dan kamu.
Okey.
Tiup mic.
Kau ni pun tak ada.
Terima kasih semua.
Aduh,
Wafi, jangan nangis. Jangan nangis, Wafi.
Dia nangis ke?
Sikit lah. Tak ada sikit lah.
Aduh, nanti siapa punya birthday lagi, Habak? Next time kita suruh dia pula nyanyi.
Lepas
Minggu lepas
Hai.
Minggu Syami tapi terlepas.
Aduh, ada apa lagi soalan? Ada soalan tak? Lepas tu kau dah kerik-kerik. Cepatlah tanya. Dah nak habis dah ni. You ada kelas tak lepas ni?
Tak ada. Tak ada soalan.
Alhamdulillah.
Tak ada soalan. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. So lepas ni tengok balik you punya rules tu. Lepas tu cari buku yang simple sikit lah. You nak faham. Kalau rasa Ravi Niko tu simple, pakai buku tu. Kalau tak, ambil Sultan tu lah. Okay, and then you will make sense lah apa yang I cakap tu. Dia tak susah sebenarnya. Lepas tu dia lagi senang kalau you tengok ni. Past year questions kan, ada sample question and answer tu. Macam tu je lah soalannya. Contohnya offer to settle, dia akan tanya apa procedure dia. Kalau dia nak offer, lepas tu dia complicated kan lah sikit. Dia kata dia nak terima, lepas tu dia retract pula apa rules applicable. Macam gitulah. Ataupun dia kata dia langsung tak nak terima, apa dia patut buat. Macam itulah. Dia sebenarnya tak susah tau. Even kalau mode of trial ni pun Imran nampak lubang ni. Ya Allah, siapa punya kek tu? Apa pasal dia cepat Imran buka nak tengok kek dia. Mana kek dia? Ya Allah, mana kek?
Selamatkan kamu. Allah selamatkan Wafi Jasmine. Allah selamatkan kamu. Paling kat dia. Paling.
Ya Allah, dia kek rupanya. Tak jauh daripada sini kan.
Okey, dapat. Okey, kita orang makan dulu.
Dia menyebabkan kita tilio. Nasib baiklah kat rumah I pun ada kek juga. Okey, nampak tu kek berapa? Umur ke apa? 23? 26.
Makan tak? Apa dia?
Syoklah. Okey, so tak ada soalan. Birthday pun kita dah nyanyi. Kek pun dia dah meriak dekat kita. Kek dia. Tak ada soalan kan? So nanti I bagi tutorial questions and as usual kita punya notes lah later. Okay? Okay.
Kau buka video juga Tak, kau. Okay.
Apa dia?
Sebab dia recording.
And our class with Tasbih Kifara and Suratul As. Assalamualaikum.
Salam. Terima kasih semua.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you.
Ya, sorry hari ni line teruk betul. Hilang semua suara semua. Oh, nak kena ni, I kena download attendance kat sini